Welcome, welcome, welcome to our weekly show. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm super excited that Stacey's joining me today. So I'm Marcy Dillon, if you haven't been here before, and I'm a resident of Norman, Oklahoma. And this, like I said, is our weekly show. And I'm your guide for all things Oklahoma and Oklahoma real estate adjacent. So before we get started, be sure to hit that like button. So that means a lot more people will see this and they get to come and watch it too. And then please interact. Like, you can ask us questions and we'll answer them. We're going to have a fun time. And then I also have a newsletter list that you can join if you would like. And I would love for you to be on that list. I send out 2 newsletters on email per month. So I would love it if you got on that list. Cool. So as you may have guessed, I am a realtor here in Oklahoma City, the Oklahoma City Metro, and I do live in Norman. So I have watching. Here she is. I have Stacey here with me today. She has been on the show with me before.
I just saw that my husband's pulling up. I'm going to close the door. I forgot to close the door before we got started. I'm really sorry. This is a terrible intro. It's a terrible intro. I can't believe the timing of this. Okay, one second.
Fine. Go close the door because, yeah, I get it.
I'm like, I can't believe that. That's so crazy. Hi. Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be here. Yes, thank you.
Yep.
Thanks for having me, Marcy.
Yeah, keep talking. Introduce yourself.
My name is Stacey Hesser. I'm a realtor that has I started in Southern Oklahoma, but I've really kind of branched out because I too have a YouTube channel, Realtor in Oklahoma, and I've really branched out to just be more of I specialize in rural real estate. So I handle anything outside the metros because I just stab my eyes out than work in one of those metropolitan areas.
That was mean.
But I mean, if the time calls for it, I will. So if it's somebody near and dear to my heart, I will absolutely help you, but because I can. But yeah, I don't know. I love the rural stuff. That's really near and dear to my heart.
And it's not hard to be rural in Oklahoma. Like,
no, not at all.
I can drive 10 minutes and be rural.
Yeah. So fun fact for you. I just did a video on safest cities in Oklahoma, and what I discovered was the only towns that have populations over 100,000 in the state of Oklahoma are Oklahoma City and Tulsa. Everything else in the entire state of Oklahoma has a population under 100,000. So the next largest city is Lawton with a population of 94,000. And then after Lawton, you drop down to like 50,000. So it's pretty wild how quickly you do start to go rural.
Yeah. Oh, Norman has 128,000, but it's in the metro, I guess.
The metro area, yeah.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. Because like Stillwater's 50,000 or something like that.
You are correct. Yes.
Yes, I know I am. Yeah. I don't want to live in Stillwater. Thank you very much.
Wait, what? Really? That's so weird. Why?
It's not for me. Not for me.
It's a nice place to visit.
Is it?
But I don't know. I've only been there once, so I really can't say.
No, I've been there more than once, but yeah, it's okay. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So the title for our video today is about hot real estate markets in Oklahoma. And what I put on my thumbnail was Boomtowns in Oklahoma. So the reason, and I didn't tell Stacey this, but the reason that I use the word Boomtown with it is because it's really associated to the oil fields.
Yeah.
They're, like booms and busts, right? And like, I'm not saying that people use the word like Boomtown, but I just think it's like a play on.
I think it goes back to your boomer sooner Boomtown. I don't know.
Well, yeah. But there's Boomtowns in California. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. For sure. Yeah. I always think so because I'm from Alaska. I always think of it as like mining towns. Boomtowns are mining towns.
Yes,
that was my foundation. But
yeah, absolutely. So if you are watching and you live somewhere like you're human, then you need to drop. You need to drop where you're living in the comments if you're watching us on YouTube.
Yes.
If you're just listening, then you can't, drop it. It's fine. But we want to know where you're from. That will help us a lot. And hopefully you can, if you have some good questions or something to chime in about, then we want to hear from you obviously. That will be a lot of fun.
Yes.
Sweet. Okay. Well, we have some questions to talk about. And Stacey and I think we already talked on the phone for an hour today.
We did. We did. I had a lot to say. I'm in a weird phase of my life, and I just had a lot to say. So yeah.
Yeah. So that's fine. Yeah, Blanchard, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. So we will talk about Blanchard a little bit, I think, or at least Newcastle. I did get some interesting news about Newcastle today, so maybe we'll dive into that a little bit. Very good. So I have some questions, and I had to stop. We had to stop ourselves from just chatting about our questions because they were so good before we got on the live stream.
Yes.
So we just talked about
it's been a while. I mean, Marcy, we got to be honest. We haven't spoken for like a couple weeks at least. So we had a lot to catch up on.
We did. We had a lot to catch up on. So
yes.
All right. So let's dive into this boomtown topic that we have.
Okay.
So what beyond price increases? What constitutes a boomtown? What feeds into this? Is it jobs? Is it schools? Is it infrastructure? Like, what do we think is feeding these boomtowns or the idea of a boomtown or region?
Well, I mean, honestly, I feel like it depends on the area because so I'm based out of Southern Oklahoma currently. And I would say, so I'm in Ardmore primarily, but east of me is Durant and Kingston. Yes. Kingston in particular is a very small town. It's only got a population, I want to say less than 10,000. However, Lake Texoma is there, and it's a huge, it's a very large recreation area. It's the border basically between Oklahoma and Texas. And the Hard Rock Cafe announced that they're building a resort there, plus a development, a housing development is going in there too, which is big news. So for those non-Oklahomans, if you're not familiar with this, the lakes in Oklahoma are levied. So most of the property around a lake are always owned by the Corps of Engineers because of the levied lake. So if you actually have true lakefront property, it's a very, very big deal here. So when this development started, it really created, between the development and the announcement of the Hard Rock Cafe opening up there with a big resort, it created this massive influx of developers, and prices there went from being under $100 a square foot to over $200 a square foot. Man, though, I wish I had invested, but hindsight's 2020. But yeah, so that's my big experience in Southern Oklahoma.
Right. I just pulled up the map so that people could see what we were talking about.
Yes.
Like, we know where these things are, but I don't know that everyone does.
So you can see on the bottom there, it is a very, very large lake, honestly.
Yes. Our lakes look like crazy dragons.
Yes, again, because they're levied and they just
I know that's not a normal lake. Like the lakes in New Hampshire, whenever I saw them, I was like, that's cool. They're like a shape.
Yes. Yeah.
So this is Kingston here, what she was talking about. So it's just north of the lake. And then what other town did you mention?
Durant's going through a big boom, which is just on the other side of the lake also.
Yes. Yep. I don't know that I've ever been to Texoma in my life.
To be honest, it's not the best lake in my area. There's a lot of clay, so it's very red. It's fed by the Red River, so go figure.
Well, that river is really red. The last time we drove over it, I think we went to Dallas or something, and it was flooded.
Yeah, it just looks like mud. It just looks like a mud river. It's red mud. But yeah.
So
named correct.
Yes, it is very aptly named.
But that's my firsthand experience with Boomtown. The other factor that you see kind of going on in my area, at least, I can't wait to hear what Marcy has to say. But Dallas is going through a massive, massive explosion of population there, and it's truly pushing people into the Southern Oklahoma market. So Durant is honestly an easy commute from the Dallas metro, as is Ardmore or anything on that southern side, either. So it's just the amount of population boom in that Dallas area is just, it's unlike anything I've ever seen in my life. It's crazy. It is.
Yeah.
Truly
It's like, I mean, how far is it from, and like, it's hard. Dallas is giant. So you can't just like, oh, it's 2 hours. Like, no, it
just, I just now call it the DFW. I don't know. Cause it's just so huge. It's
like, normally whenever I go to Dallas, I'm going to the north side. I'm not driving to the south side because that's silly. Why?
Yeah. Why torture yourself for that additional hour and a half to get through it?
There's nothing down there. Everything I need is on the north side.
Yes. Okay. Couldn't agree more. Yes.
Absolutely. Cool. Okay. So that's kind of your with the Boomtown situation. Like, you're seeing that lake area really go crazy.
Yeah.
And lakes here are a culture. People like, I don't know that I've ever spent a weekend at the lake, so I'm not a very good Okie. But
well, honestly, I haven't either since living here. I guess I'm not officially a lake person anymore. But I've spent plenty. My parents had a cabin up in Alaska that was on a lake.
Yeah. That's a totally different kind of lake, but lots of
it was. We had an outhouse and everything. Yes, you. And here they define a lake house as something that's just it doesn't even need to be on the lake. It just needs to be by the lake, which I didn't understand that at first getting into real estate. So I was really ignorant on the whole thing. They're like, we want a lake house. So I was always like, oh, we don't have lake houses here because you can't own a house on the lake for the most part.
Oh, I did not realize that was a confusing thing.
Yep. There you go. Yeah. To me, lake house was, I have a dock. I drive a boat. It's right here.
Oh, no.
Yes, that's a lake house. Here, it's just, I'm within 15 minutes of the lake. That's the lake house. And I'm like, that's so not a lake house. Oh my God. And you can drive to it and you have power and running water. No way. That's crazy. That's crazy.
No way. Running water. What? Oh, wow. No, I'm not an Alaska girl, I guess. I don't know.
It's something. I don't know. I mean, you have large livestock in your world, so that they still kind of intimidate me. I've gotten a lot better, but they still, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I'm from Claremore. So Claremore is actually one of the boomtowns on the like Yahoo list. So I guess, well, it's really like a K4 list, which is a local news channel. So I am from Claremore, and this always cracks me up. So if you can see what we're looking at here, like, this is the town of Claremore. It is the home of Will Rogers. Yes, he is dead. He died in a in a plane crash.
Rogers is dead. I had no idea.
Yeah, well, he would be dead no matter what. He was born in, the 19th century. It's fine.
Okay. Sorry, that was just a funny statement to me.
So a lot of people in Claremore, they will drive to Tulsa each day for work.
Yes.
That's a pretty common thing. And then there's some other like smallish boom towns, I would say, around Claremore, because it just kind of, whenever we see a boom town, whenever we see a town that really starts growing and things start getting very expensive, which we're going to hit on that with one specific one up in the Tulsa metro, things will just expand. So we were talking about this other town earlier, and I now I know why. It's expanded so quickly and gotten so expensive. So I looked at the map and I was like, oh, duh. Yeah, I'm stupid.
Okay.
So with Claremore, people drive, into town every day, or into town. That's what we called it. Tulsa.
What'd you say?
Town.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, no, I still, so yeah, I feel like anybody that's lived outside of metro still calls the metro town. I've never encountered anybody that doesn't. So like, I grew up in Eagle River, which is a very small town outside of Anchorage, but driving to Anchorage was, we're going to town. And
Right.
Anchorage is the largest city in the entire state of Alaska.
Correct.
Well, actually, no, I take that back because I do say for Oklahoma City specifically, probably because city's in its actual name, I say we're going to the city for Oklahoma City. But Tulsa,
Yeah,
I probably say town. I'm going to town.
Yeah, I say the city for sure.
Yeah. No, anyway, I don't know.
Yeah. So what I was going to say about the lake situation, like growing up, most of my friends went to the lake on the weekends. They had lake houses or they were renting lake houses, especially up at this lake. If you can see the map, what I'm pointing to are the towns of Disney, Ketchum, Cleora, Veneta, Afton. Like
what
these
lake is that?
It's Grand Lake, Lake of the Cherokee. Yeah, Grand Lake of the Cherokees. So huge lake. It's actually beautiful. Like I do think it's beautiful, but have I ever been on that lake? Absolutely not. I don't like it.
What? Really? Well, yeah, okay. My brother came here and he went up there for a spell, but I only visited him. You're right. I didn't go on the lake either.
No, there are tons of little
boat people and non-boat people. We are not. Apparently, we're not boat people, Marcy.
I am not a boat person. They're very loud.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
No, yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
No, thank you.
Yes.
Like I was on a boat a couple of years ago, just on, Thunderbird, Dirty Bird here in Norman. And I mean, people on the boat, I was like, why is the music so extremely loud? Like I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But one thing I did want to
hear it when you're getting pulled with on the when you're water skiing. I don't know. Or the tube.
I don't do that. No. No. So one thing that I was going to say was, I believe the stat is that Oklahoma has more like water beach access than the entire Gulf of Mexico.
Get out, really?
Yeah, it's an extreme amount because look at these stupid little inlets.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. I can see it. Yeah.
It's a ton. So, yeah.
Oh damn! I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
I knew we had over 200 lakes, which for a landlocked state, that's shocking, especially considering it was the Dust Bowl here.
Yes.
But boy, did Okies learn a lesson from that, though.
Yeah. We can learn a lesson from the Dust Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
That is some interesting stuff. Okay, so to go back to the boomtown idea and what makes a boomtown, what me and Stacey were talking about earlier today was the town of Sand Springs. And so Sand Springs, if you can see our map, if you can't see the map, I'm going to explain to you where it is. So it is directly west of Tulsa. And it was, it used to be out in the middle of nowhere, but now it's a pretty easy drive into Tulsa. So I was looking at this and thinking why is the prices are up like 34% in this little town? I was like, what's going on? But then when you look at this map and you're like, okay, well, first of all, it's an easy drive to Tulsa, on like a really good road.
Right.
So that's really helpful. And then you look at the fact that a lot of Sand Springs is not in Tulsa public schools.
Mm-hmm.
Very important.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it has like 3 different schools, including Berry Hill, which is like this little town we used to play basketball with whenever I was a kid. It's just a tiny little town. I drove through it the other day because I was thinking when was the last time I went to Sand Springs? And I was like, like a month ago. It is, but it's kind of cool because it has that like very small town feel, but you're literally right there in Tulsa.
Yeah. So and I think people are really starting to migrate more towards some kind of a small town vibe.
Yes.
But still having the conveniences of being by a metro. Yep. So you still have the medical, you still have, the airport, the transport, any transportation. You still have all of the big conveniences of being in a big town, but you can still separate yourself from that, so to speak.
Yeah. And I mean, you can really easily separate yourself from that. It's a very quiet place. Like all of these places are super quiet. That is one of, Stacey, do you get that question a lot? Like, is it quiet from people from other states?
No.
And I'm like,
Not mine is more about safety. I don't know.
Okay.
People want to know if it's safe or taxes. They always ask me about taxes. Is it cheap? I'm like, it's Oklahoma. Yeah, it's cheap.
I mean, it's cheap. Yeah. Yes. The question I get about, like, is it quiet? Like because they see our neighborhoods, and I live in Norman, so our houses tend to be a little bit closer together. But like, nobody's loud.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So I hate to keep referencing that I'm my Alaskan days, but I mean I moved out of Alaska when I was in my late 30s, so just bear with me on that. But Alaskans like to party, man, and it was kind of different to me being I was going to say a young adult, but being in your 40s isn't really a young adult. Sorry, that was bad. But I mean, there's just no nightlife really here. It's very limited in what kind of nightlife. So there's really, like Marcy said, it's not, I've never heard really loud parties or even, I mean, we used to, when I'm in Alaska, we had some, I mean, if you weren't at the club, then you were just partying it up at your own house and having a house party, and we were still having loud music. But I mean, you're in a place where I was anyways, had larger lots, so it wasn't that big of a deal, but I don't know. And they usually invite the neighbors, so they don't care. So
yeah. I mean, my neighbor across the street parties during football games, which is
yeah. Well, football's that's a different story.
But he's not loud.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You'll hear the game, but that's about it.
And then my next door neighbor watches Jeopardy outside. It's hysterical. So funny.
Down with old Alex Trebek. Although he's
before we became friends with our next door neighbors, I was like, "Hey, are they watching Jeopardy?" And then I asked them, and he's like, "Yeah, it's like my favorite show." Like, okay.
So, just to clarify, though, people here don't. It's not like they're in their house listening to this. They are outside with a television. That's why you can hear it. It's not because you can hear it because the walls are thin. It's because they're outside entertaining.
Good clarification.
There is an outside living room space. That was new.
Very,
yeah.
Yes, very good clarification. They're handsome is my husband. He really wanted to put a TV outside, and I said absolutely not.
You told him no?
Yes.
What? Wow. I'd be all over that just to get it out of the house.
Oh no, we would still have one in the house.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes I want my quiet space, though. My house is my quiet space. Outside is the outside.
Well, that's why he's at the comic book shop right now.
Yeah.
He's quiet. He's gone.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
Yeah. Good. Okay. So Boomtown, obviously the home prices are increasing. There's probably some new work in town.
Yeah, some kind of economic push.
Yes. In terms of like, there's probably some other investment somehow. Like in West Tulsa, that investment kind of started with the Gathering Place in 2014, which is one of the biggest parks in the US.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You haven't been there?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it was donated by Kaiser. That's his last name. So it was like $3 million or something like that.
The Kaiser? It's got to be the Kaiser. Oklahoma's home to some really rich people that I have.
Really rich people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like Phillips 66, Mr. Phillips, he's from Bartlesville.
Like, yes, the Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some shocking wealth here. But anyway.
Okay, you guys, if you have questions, please interrupt us. You can drop those in the comments and we will 100% see them. And we do want your questions. We don't just want to talk to each other because we already did that for an hour today.
It's okay though. I can talk more. We could talk more.
Yeah. No, I can too. So it's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So yes, the Boomtown thing, like there's a lot of different factors that go into it. Typically it's something that's increasing, of course, money going into the spot. So there has to be a job situation. Like there's some sort of new job or a job that's taking off or something that wasn't popular before and is now becoming popular.
Right. Right.
So it just totally depends. And like to me, that's like Kingston. That's kind of what happened. Is like, oh, it's tourism. Yeah, and it's the fact that you can drive to Dallas and not very long at all. So.
Super easy. The other thing I really experience a lot on the southern Oklahoma is just that there's a ton of retirees that have kids that do live in Dallas, but they don't want to live in Dallas. So it's super easy for them to buy into that southern portion of the state and have an easy commute to see their grandkids. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
There could be other factors though too.
What's the other factor?
Well, I'll be changing my zip code at some point here.
Oh, that's right.
Yes,
that's right. Yes. So that gets us into our next question. So if you, Stacey, were starting fresh in Oklahoma with a $300,000 budget or about that, where would you invest? Where would you live and why?
Well, where I bought, of course.
Where did you buy, Stacey?
I bought land in Shawnee. So yes, but that doesn't mean that I'm alienating my southern Oklahoma peeps. I'm still all about it. But yeah,
Stacey
Carl
is a road warrior, so she is driving everywhere.
I am.
I'm not driving more than 20 minutes.
Yeah. Thank you for that. But Carl and I bought land in Shawnee for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's right on I-40. So Carl's, he kind of changed. He's with the same company, but he's sort of changed positions. So now he's going to be based more out of Oklahoma City and needing access to the Oklahoma City office for his work. So we bought in Shawnee. Actually, we're more honestly, you can see Bethel Lakers. It's actually on the
Bethel Lakers is a big town. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I really am taking the road. Okay, I just bought the land, so I haven't done a whole lot of traveling, but we're kind of close to the lake there, which is really, really cool. I'm very excited about that. But the zip code officially is Shawnee.
Yes.
So, but there's also, because it's such an easy commute, there's also going to be a turnpike. I know Marcy can talk more about that because I'm not fully versed. There's a lot of stuff still happening, but there will be a turnpike going in, making the access for the southern portion of Oklahoma City Metro easier as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So I would say that would also create a boom town too. Just so accessibility, something that may have been a little bit out of reach, but we bought over 20 acres in Shawnee and it was completely affordable because we were able to get in a little bit in on the market before things really get crazy. So we'll see.
Yeah. And I've sold on that same street that you bought on, and you can definitely, because it's in a lot of areas in the metro, you're only going to get an acre or maybe 5 acres, and it's going to be pretty expensive. But out there, you can get 10 or 20 acres. Yeah.
And you can see, I mean, where we're at, we're just outside of city limits there.
So
it's we're happy. We're really excited to build it out.
But don't be fooled. There's not that much.
No, there's not. We're in the sticks. We're 100%. Yeah. If we're out of milk, we're making some kind of 15-20 minute drive someplace to get milk. So well, I don't know. I think there's a Dollar General that's super close because
there's Dollar Generals all over the place right there because that's their business
total
model.
Joke there. Yeah.
This is probably going to be the closest thing if you haven't been there yet. The Grand Casino.
I'm not a gambling girl, but
no, I'm not either. But they have a Brazilian steakhouse in that one.
Oh, they do?
Mm-hmm.
I love a Brazilian steakhouse.
I don't care about the meat, but their salad bar is pretty good.
Yeah. I usually love their picante steak. That's one of my favorites. That's a staple for me. Sorry, that's weak. Like Marcy and I can talk food too. That's one of the things that bonds us. We both love food.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So a lot of people do ask me about Shawnee already because I am closer to Shawnee right now because I do live in Norman. And the thing is, even though it looks really close to Norman, it's not.
It's
Um,
almost 40 minutes for me to drive.
Well, and 40 minutes is the same as what I would drive to like go up to North Choctaw or something, but culturally it is very far.
Yeah, it is 40 minutes on 2-lane roads that if you veer off too far one way or the other, you are either going completely off road
Yes.
and possibly not recovering. You know, it's country. It's country.
It's
Capital.
country. It's country. And you know, kind of where I tend to stay is like sometimes I go to McLeod, sometimes I go to Hera, which if you can't see the map, it's kind of where anyone from Tinker Air Force Base is gonna work or live and then drive into work. Because Tinker Air Force Base, of course, is one of the largest employers in Oklahoma. So we work a lot with people who work there. So
yeah.
That's why I say that. But yeah, I think that Shawnee with that turnpike, which I just saw it today, where it's going to be, they've finalized 2 pieces of it, apparently, which everyone is just so excited about. Not really.
Okay. I know. There's been so much disruption. I think there always is when there's a big road going in, though, because people just think about highway noise. I think thinking about the accessibility that it's going to grant them. You bet your bottom dollar they're going to be driving it. They may be complaining about it, but they're going to be on it all the time.
Well, it's just like the Kickapoo, which I mean, no one's on that road, but like, do I use it when I drive to Tulsa? Heck yeah, I don't have to drive through Oklahoma City. Like, it's awesome. Yeah. I don't know how expensive it is. I can't remember, but that's the other thing I think that gets us too is like, you're building your road that we have to pay to drive on. Like, and we're always paying to drive on our own roads. Obviously, that's what taxes are for.
Yes.
But like the fact that you have to, the little tally mark goes up every time you drive through the thing, like that is kind of annoying. I get it.
I hate tolls. They drive me crazy, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I'm currently, Carl's on a project up in Muskogee. Really, this is not where I'm going off topic. Sorry. Oh, no. But it really irritates the ever-loving crap out of me because up here anyway, you drive on a toll road and you think you're like getting some kind of luxury service and that the roads are going to be amazing. Up here on this thing, it is complete crap. I need to find out. I can't remember which turnpike it's on, but it is ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. It's all concrete here, so it's just oh my god, it's terrible. Sorry. Anyway, I didn't mean to. Yeah. No, some of the roads I hate it. You feel like you should have some superior service. I always feel like I'm going to call myself out on my age here, but Seinfeld, there was an episode with Elaine where she was driving on the road and she's like, it's so luxurious because the road it was like Kramer had gone down and he eliminated all the lines in the road. So it was 2 lanes that was one. So she was like, it's so luxurious. Oh that's not this amazing. I'm sorry. Anyway, okay, carry on. Sorry.
So anyway, the main part that they've solidified is all along Indian Hills, which is like the road that separates Norman and Moore. Is I guess they're calling it the access road.
So is that where we're going to get on the turnpike then? Is on Indian Hills?
Yes.
We should have queued up the turnpike plans. I forgot all about it.
No. We're not going into this is not a turnpike.
Sorry. Yeah, that's not the topic. It's not the topic. Sorry.
But that is where they've solidified that, and then like connecting up to I-40. So yes, you will be able to like drive. I think it's
supposed to be a bypass around all of that, avoiding I-35, which turns into a total it's very busy. It's definitely a pain point for a commuter going from the south end, which was Carl and I were looking at the southern part, but we just opted not to because I-35 is just such a terrible commute. Such a terrible commute.
Is. And they've done so much work on I-40. It is a lot better.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Okay.
Yep. All good. So the question here. So what I have here is the picture. It's the list of all of the like fastest growing little towns in Oklahoma. So Owasso, Bixby, Mustang, Broken Arrow, Durant. So the only one of those that isn't in a metro is Durant. It's its own little thing. So
that's crazy. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
But like I talked about, it's because of that push from Texas, and then also with the all that economic impact from the tourism on Lake Texoma.
Yes.
Durant still has really high rated schools too.
Okay, so, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Owasso and Bixby are both in Tulsa Metro.
Yep.
Mustang is in Oklahoma City, Broken Arrow's in Tulsa, Yukon, Oklahoma City, Sapulpa, Tulsa. Oklahoma City is obviously in Oklahoma City. Claremore is in Tulsa Metro, sort of like it's kind of far outside the metro, to be honest with you. And then Shawnee, which is not in any metro either, technically.
Yeah. Claremore and Shawnee are probably both equidistant. Claremore being equidistant to Tulsa, Shawnee being equidistant to OKC. Right. But yeah, right. Interesting.
So yeah, these cities, like if I had to pick one of these, I wouldn't. Maybe I would pick No, you guys, there is something for everyone in these towns. I just have like really specific needs in my life, I guess.
Yeah. So when Carl and I were researching Oklahoma City Metro, we were hardcore looking at Mustang and Yukon. That was probably but interestingly enough, because they're so high on the list, we honestly got priced out of it. So it was harder for us to find land at a price point that we wanted in those two communities. And those are over on the west side of Oklahoma City Metro. So you're still on you're on the west side of I-40, which is constantly under construction. I don't know what difference there is between the west side of 40 versus the east side of 40, but East 40 is way better. Way better.
Yeah, East 40 is way better.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, hey, David.
Go Big Red. Is that for OU?
I don't know.
What's Big Red? I only know it.
I don't know what's Big Red. It's the gum. Isn't that gum?
Yeah, Big Red gum. Wrigley's Big Red gum.
No, David and I were in a class together, I think, this week. So.
Oh, heck yeah. Awesome. Hi, David.
Okay. Nice. Andrew has a question. Hey, Marcy, as a single person, which of these places would you recommend and why? I've been targeting OKC, but should I be open to other cities and towns?
It depends on you.
Yes, it depends on you. If you need a little bit of like things to do, then I would, go to Oklahoma City. And here's the thing. Oklahoma City is basically a bunch of small towns all mashed together.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is not, the downtown is so limited. So it almost feels like there isn't one sometimes.
I don't know. Well, you got the river, Bricktown. You got Bricktown.
Yeah.
But that's almost more like a tourist thing. My dog is at the door. Hang on. I'm going to go grab him. Okay.
So I would definitely target OKC. And then there's like corners of Oklahoma City that you could look at. What I always tell people is like, look, just because an address says Oklahoma City does not mean that it is in the city. You could still have well water and it can be in the country 100%. A lot of people really like to live in the village. Bethany has been really popular as well. So it's over here. If you can see the map, I'm just talking about kind of the western side of Oklahoma City. But one place that my clients really like to live, if you're looking for a little bit more something to do, is to live around Lake Hefner. That's pretty common to want to live there. But if you want a really cool community, also I would look at the Wheeler district because it's really awesome and expensive.
Where's the Wheeler district?
It's down here in just south of the river. It's close-ish to the stockyards.
Okay. I've not heard of that before.
Yeah, it's like a little not Danish, like a Dutch situation. The houses are like big row houses. They're really.
Oh, okay. I think I know. I didn't know it was named.
Yes, it has
the metro. This is exactly why I don't work the metro.
Oh yeah, it has the Ferris wheel.
I only know the communities that are more country. So
yes. So that's what I would tell you is Oklahoma City, because of how it was settled and how everything happened there, it is a bunch of little bitty towns.
Mm-hmm.
And there's actually towns within Oklahoma City, of course, as well.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. So David explained to us the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Oh, the Cornhuskers. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. We're not sports people.
Yeah. I mean, my husband's NFL, and
Okay.
but when I left Alaska, I went to Florida first, I was in big time Gator country.
Yeah.
University of Florida, I guess. Is that right?
Mhm.
I don't know. And then the Seminoles, the Go Noles. That was anyway. Yeah. So I started to get educated on all of the shenanigans of the college stuff. So that's okay.
Yeah, thank you. I know it's always like a funny thing. Like everyone who watches my channel knows I am not a football person or any kind of
football. That was Marcy's thing. Go football.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the game is on tonight. The Thunder game is on tonight. I know that. I think it's on at 7:30.
I am not basketball at all. I can totally pass on that. But they're in the finals or something.
Oh my God.
Is that right? Yes. Okay.
I think
I don't even know what
do
they win. I feel really bad now. I didn't know I didn't know this little about basketball. But
David's like, these people are dumb.
Hey, I know in hockey it's the Stanley Cup, okay?
Yeah.
If one is looking to move to OKC area.
End. Did you cut off the last bit of your question? Where are you asking where? Or like, we just need a little more from you, Betsy. So we'll wait for you.
Yes.
Because I haven't said which town I would invest in as a boom town. And I would have a really hard time living anywhere but Norman because I love it. So I would say Oklahoma City personally. And if I had to move to Oklahoma,
the city itself?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a tiny city. It's a tiny city.
Well, yeah.
But I would probably want to live in Midtown because my dream is like to walk to my favorite coffee shop every morning.
I can understand that dream.
Yeah.
Because it does get really old to get in a car and drive there.
Yes. So I just bought an espresso machine for my house.
That's one of my first things I want to buy. I'm so excited. I can't wait. Yes, exactly. You know why? So I went to Starbucks this morning, and I'm just going to complain about it because it shocked me. I don't know. I feel old or something. I'm not sure, or cheap, one or the other. But I got a bagel with cream cheese and drip coffee. I thought I was saving money with drip coffee, so I was like, "I'll just have your Pike Place, please." It was $8. It was over $8, and that didn't even include a tip. I'm like, are you kidding me? How much was I felt so bad because I was like such a douchebag to the girl. I'm like, how much was like coffee? And she's just like, I go, oh, here, let me show you. It was $3.50. $3.50 for drip coffee? I used to be able to get a freaking latte for that, man. That's ridiculous. I don't know. So like I said, I don't know. I'm either old or cheap now, one or the other. So I'm like chewing out the poor coffee girl. Okay, here she goes.
Yes. Thanks, Betsy. Okay, so here's your question. If one is looking to move to the OKC area and needs to find a job in the home automation, home electronics field, do you have any idea what the outlook for that is, or if there is a demand for it?
Okay.
So the fastest growing economic sector in Oklahoma, and sometimes this comes as a surprise to people, is aerospace and aviation. So are we techie? For sure. As techie as Oklahomans can possibly be.
I feel like there was sarcasm there, man. But you're not wrong. I still have to. granted, I'm rural. Don't forget I'm rural. I still can't tell you how many times I have to get wet signatures, meaning an actual signature people won't electronically sign. So I understand that. Yeah.
I don't have to do that very much, thank God. So yeah, I like that's hard. That's a hard question for me to answer because like I don't know exactly on home electronics, but I do know that we are not just oil and gas anymore.
Yeah, very much so.
Not to say that we always were, because like Oklahoma, like the biggest employer in Oklahoma is always surprising to people as well. It's the Department of Defense, not the Air Force, the Department of Defense. So that's a lot of contractors, is what I'm saying. So I say that to just point out that like Oklahoma has been taking big steps to get out of, to expand, because we can't rely on oil and gas forever. Because it creates a lot of problems. Obviously they're still pumping, and I'm amazed right now at how many pump jacks are even going inside of Norman. Like it's wild to me.
Like they're firing them back up again.
Yes.
So this was new to me. So Alaska is very much an oil and gas state as well, but it's very isolated where our oil and gas is. So it's not like we're exposed to it in our backyard. Like you literally can be in Oklahoma.
Oh yeah.
But so you'll actually literally watch the pump jacks either be operating or not operating. And if they're not operating, it's just because it's not fiscally, they're not making any money off of operating the pump jack at that point in time. So they'll just wait. They wait it out until the oil prices get up to the point that they're making money again. Yep. Which was weird. I didn't realize that.
Yes, it is very strange. I agree. And there's a lot of weird stuff with Oklahoma oil, but that's a different episode. So we'll go with that.
Well, and I was just going to say the other aspect that's really been coming into Oklahoma a lot, which is hitting the business news a lot, is data centers, because our land here is so cheap. So data centers are starting to move into Oklahoma quite a bit now, which was kind of weird to me as well. So there is a lot of techie type things that are starting to bloom here.
Yeah. So I don't know if that falls into your category of home electronics or not, but to me it does. So that's why we bring that up. So
thanks, Betsy.
Yeah, that was a great question. I liked it a lot. I didn't even think about that before. So cool. Okay. Well, I have, so we talked about Oklahoma City and Shawnee as where we would move to if we had to, which Stacey has to. I don't.
Yes. Yeah.
I live here in Norman.
Yes.
Okay, so this question, we both thought it was amazing because we're seeing it firsthand. Is price growth always a good thing, or can it push out locals and buyers? So we're talking about real estate price growth. You
want to start or you want me to start?
You go ahead. You have a different thing going on with your
So Oklahoma is, if you don't know, is one of the poorest states in the union. We typically rank in the 40s for actual income. So I'm really seeing it a lot firsthand because I do have a YouTube channel and I'm helping people. For the most part, my buyers are out of state buyers bringing cash. So they're selling out of the coasts or someplace and they're coming here and they're buying cash because they can. But what that's doing is obviously increasing home prices. So people that are here making a living, it's just making it a lot harder. So when I first got into real estate, and I've only been into real estate here in Oklahoma, I got in first in 2017, but I started selling in 2019. And I cannot believe how much the Southern Oklahoma market has changed. And like I said at the beginning of the show, for Kingston in particular, that's been the biggest change that I've witnessed, just seeing stuff being, dirt cheap. It was a gross, I'll be honest. I did not like driving over in Kingston. It was I dare say a bunch of meth heads over there, and just there's like burned out trailers that still exist to this day. So you could have literally bought things for like just dirt cheap now. And now you can buy, it's $100,000 to buy an acre, So it's a huge change. And the people that unfortunately live there and they're making a living there, they may not be able to buy anymore.
No.
Ardmore, it's still semi-affordable, but I would probably say you probably have to be some dual income person or a work at home that may have some better paying job. But for the most part, a lot of the jobs that are available in the Ardmore area are, kind of retail or hospitality based. So it's hard. It's very hard for them. And it breaks my heart for them too, because you're seeing it firsthand with them getting pushed out.
Yep. I mean, I feel like, do we have it less or more here in the metro? Like, I think that it's just as bad. It's just easier to hide.
Well, and you have more opportunity there. So if somebody wants to advance and be, better themselves, I feel like there's a better opportunity for them to do that in the city versus Ardmore, where one of our major employers is shutting down. But other things are coming in. So it's like, it's Ardmore's such a unique market. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah.
We have the university, and it's all like, if people get on at the university, like, it's not the best pay in the world, but it is solid work.
Yeah. And they still have you can get tenured there and have a retirement.
Yeah, if you're a professor, but no, you can you can have retirement. You're fully vested, I think, after 2 years or 3 years at the university. I can't remember. It's been a long time since someone has told me that. So, but that is a really good retirement for people, because like, not everyone has that. So, and I think it's really good. What we're seeing for first time home buyers, like, whenever I first got in the business in 2017, and I was 27 or something, 28, like something like that. Yes. I just turned 37 last week. But basically, the average home price here in Norman at that time was $160,000, and now it's $285,000, which is a pretty big jump. So, I mean, it was commonplace for me to buy and sell homes that were right at $100,000. And now if I have to buy or sell anything at $100,000, it's not livable.
Trash.
Oh,
it's trash. Yeah. Check and see if it's condemned or whatever. Yeah.
So the first time home buyers that are typically buying at around $250,000 right now, like, that's pretty common. I mean, it's pretty competitive. Yeah.
I see that.
So that is really tough. And unfortunately, it's the same homes that people who are retiring are also buying.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
If they're downsizing from, 2,500.
Oh, see, I don't get the downsizers. Usually they're people that they're leaving a metro to have something with land. Interesting. Right. We are very opposite.
We get people that are leaving the rural areas typically because there's no doctors.
Yeah. I
think they're calling that the silver tsunami. I mean, that's part of the.
That's a terrible name. Okay. Wave of old people. There's coming in.
It's pretty common because people, they don't want to drive 2 hours to see their specialist.
Well, yeah.
I get. Like, why would what? So that's what we see. I saw a couple, they were moving from Weatherford to Norman to be closer to their kids and closer to the metro.
So, well,
Weatherford's out there, man.
It is. It's on I-40, but it's still it's a bit of a hike.
It's a hike. I mean, I wouldn't hike it, like, literally. What?
Isn't it like 2.5 hours outside the city?
Oh yeah, easy.
Yeah. A little too far. That's a little too far. So Ardmore's only an hour and 15 minutes from Oklahoma City. That's totally tolerable.
Right.
But we have a large hospital here, though, too, in Ardmore.
You do. Yeah. And Ardmore is nice because it's directly on I-35. So that keeps it going, because some of these small towns that don't have any good highways through them, no. I've been through the literal ghost towns.
Yeah.
So
it's wild. I mean, if there's nothing there to sustain it, then there's
there's nothing there. It's crazy driving out in Western Oklahoma, and like you'll see a sign that says like, "Oh, this town used to be here, but a tornado wiped them all out and they never came back."
Oh, really?
It happens a lot because there's no water, really. So
Okay.
there's
Well,
not
I'm always
really-
fascinated with the drive to. It's a horrible drive. It's honestly one of my worst drives in Oklahoma, which is getting over to Broken Bow, which is a huge tourist place. But between Durant and Broken Bow, there's nothing. You're looking at trees for like well over 2 hours. It's a terrible drive.
Okay.
I hate it.
Yeah, I haven't been out there. I refuse to go to Broken Bow because I am not paying.
Good for you.
$3,000.
There ain't no. Anyway. Yeah, it's
Broken Bow is beautiful, but it's the prices
Whatever.
that we don't like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just I feel like the price point got pushed for no real reason. I feel like there's
no
reason in Oklahoma that are way prettier, but I guess it's because it's right there on the border for Texas and Arkansas, maybe. But I mean, I don't know. I've seen way prettier places, in my humble opinion.
Yes, I completely agree, and I tell people that all the time.
Don't deal with that. There's other research it. Don't go to Broken Bow. And by the way, I haven't released this video yet, but I've got the research done. It's honestly, it's Oklahoma's dirty little secret. It's one of the most dangerous places to be. There's a lot of crime that happens there. A lot of crime. But will it ever hit any list for Oklahoma most dangerous places? No, because it's a huge tourist spot. So that's our dirty little secret, Oklahoma. I'm calling you out on it, Tourism Authority, right here, right now. Yeah. Keeping that dirty little secret to themselves.
They sure are. The only reason I want to go is because there's a through hike that's 230 miles, and I kind of want to do it.
What? Holy crap.
I know, it's so dumb, but I do want to do it.
I thought you were going to say it was going to be for the axe throwing.
No thanks. I'd rather hike 230 miles.
Damn. So this is what I would love to do, the Appalachian Trail or something like that, or
Well, this one's part of, they call it what do they call it? It's like not the Southern Triple Crown, but there's like 3 trails, like the Ozarks.
I'd love to see that. That's interesting.
Yeah. It's really fascinating to like there's some guy, I watched some guys on YouTube like talk about doing it, and it's nice because they have a bunch of shelters, so you don't have to necessarily pitch a tent. You're like sleeping in a shelter.
Yeah.
Because
awesome.
Yeah. So okay, cool. We got off on a tangent.
Yeah, sorry.
Don't go to Hochtown.
It's terrible.
It's terrible. Okay, are smaller cities like Enid, we have not talked about Enid yet.
No, we haven't.
Or Ardmore becoming the next wave for remote workers and retirees?
Well, I can definitely speak to Ardmore for retirees. Like I said, it's got a huge push of people that their kids are in Dallas, and it's a great place to be. There's still good medical care there. My mom's 82, almost 83. She still drives in Ardmore, so it's small enough for her to manage, and she feels comfortable being there. Enid, I just did some studies on Enid, but it's there's a Air Force base there. There's a huge aerospace
it's banned.
Yeah. It's huge there, huge. And I didn't know this, but Enid is also home to the largest grain storage facility in the United States of America. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's got a lot of agriculture. So 2 major industries are there in Enid, just helping to support that. But I feel like, I don't know, if I was a retiree, I would not go to Enid. It wouldn't be on my list because it's a little out there. It's not on an interstate or anything.
Yeah, and I had this recently, and I can't remember which client it was, but they were like, are there spots that are less tornado-y?
Yes, actually there are.
So Enid to me feels like the tornado epic, like this.
What, really?
Because it's so
interesting. Okay.
I think so. Because it's so like there's no trees, it's just like flat, like it's all
However, non-Oklahoman migrating to Oklahoma, this is what I've seen. So I saw a Facebook post showing the tornado warnings. So it's something you can Google, but look up how many tornado warnings there have been in the last year or whatever. But there is a very clear path, in my opinion, that tornadoes have some kind of tendency. Now, I'm not saying that they won't hit other places or have issues in other places, but there does seem to be a very clear path.
You're so not an Okie that you would fucking sorry that you would say that.
I'm just saying what I saw on a Facebook post. Okay. So Okie Marcy, clear us up on that. Clear us up on that.
I mean, I understand. Like, because whenever I'm watching the weather, which is every day during storm season, I mean, and we're kind of at the end of it right now, so it's nice because it's like hot enough, right? But I mean, I know there is a way that the storms go. I was in Austin last week and I was like, I don't know which direction this dang thing is going. Because like I don't know how it runs. Like
it's pretty clear in Oklahoma. Things are either blowing north or they're blowing south. If they're blowing any other direction, something's coming.
Yeah. So storms go from southwest to northeast. That's the way they go. And they're not turning around. So yes, like if the storm is about a mile, southwest of you, like probably take cover or something.
Yes. Find your safe place. They love to say that. Find your safe place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Find your safe place. Ooh, yeah. I mean, I think to me, I would choose Ardmore over Enid also if I was made to choose.
For tornado purposes?
No. But Ardmore does have good weather.
Yes. It is seriously in a weird banana belt kind of thing. I don't understand it, and I'm going to miss it when I finally move. But
yeah.
Dallas
gets gonna have inundated with.
Yeah, well, yeah, we do get. I'm not going to say that we do get our tornado sirens, but Dallas gets hit with way more hail, and then north of us though, same. You get more hail, and in the winter you get way more freezing rain. And Ardmore just kind of bypasses all of it. But what we do get in spades is just straight up torrential rain. Straight up rain. You have to be very aware of flood zones in Ardmore because it matters. And you would never think that in a landlocked state that you have to pay attention to flood zones, but you really need to pay attention to flood zones in Ardmore.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, Norman's pretty bad about the flooding thing. And
you've had some serious hail issues. Holy crap, have you had some hail problems?
I mean, not in the past 2 years.
Oh, yes. You've had a small reprieve. Okay.
Listen.
That's some shit that goes through your area, man. I mean, like, I don't know. It's wild. It's wild.
So I did do I was doing research on an insurance video.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that's way more statistical than what we're talking about with our. Okay, so what'd that say?
Well, I'm like, okay. So Kansas and Texas have more days of hail than Oklahoma, by far.
Really?
Yes, but their insurance rates are lower than ours.
Terrible. Yeah. Well, and I've had a lot of clients complain about that this year in particular. Yeah. I don't know.
And I have a client moving from North Carolina and I have a client moving from Louisiana. And they're both like, your insurance is so cheap.
What?
Oh, what? Wow.
Okay.
So that was weird. I was like, that's news to me. But I'm used to Arizona clients, and Arizona's insurance is super cheap. So whenever they come in,
I mean, you're just getting baked over there anyway. I mean, it's just
a different type of build though.
Well, yeah. Yeah, but I mean, you insulate. That's all you need to do. You just got to I don't know. That's interesting. Why? That's so weird to me though. I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on rates for Kansas and Texas are cheaper than Oklahoma. Why? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Because like I said, Texas gets inundated with hail. And so I helped a client move from Dallas to Ardmore, and we had the worst time because she finally disclosed to me after looking at literally over 50 houses. Please, for the love of God, don't do it's no. Anyway, way above average. But what she finally disclosed to me was that she was paying a lot of attention to the roof, how old the roof was. And I'm like, dude, that doesn't matter in this area. We don't get hail. Because she was thinking that if a roof was more than 10 years old, which was way the norm in Dallas, because they get so much hail that roofs are just replaced every 10 years, period, end of story. She just thought that if she was getting a house with an older roof, that it was a piece of crap and we weren't paying attention to it. But she never said anything, and I never asked the question. So
you gotta
learn a little lesson on all that. But
yeah.
But anyway, no, we just get rain. We don't get hail. So, and then we finally explained that, and I told her to pay attention to flood zones. And then, of course, we found a house that she really loved that was in a flood zone, and there you go.
Whoops.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Whoopsie. Okay. All right. So what surprises people most when they move to one of these towns that are growing very quickly?
Say that one more time. Sorry.
What surprises people most when they move to one of these boom towns? Like, what would you think surprises people that are like moving to Kingston?
Well, I mean, it's Kingston. I mean, luckily, most people that would be moving there, they're moving there because of the lake. I mean, I can't imagine anybody's going to be moving there really for any other reason. The schools aren't that great. I mean, they're average. It's not bad, but they're average. So really, people that would be moving there are going to be somebody that's really going there for a lifestyle, not something. I can't even say anything else. They're just going there because of a lifestyle. So,
a lifestyle. Yeah, that makes sense.
But I mean, just like you were talking about, though, earlier, it's like I just feel bad for people that are from there and have seen, literal land values go from being hundreds of dollars an acre to now $20,000 an acre. It's
insane.
Crazy. It's just crazy.
Crazy.
And I don't know. I feel so bad for these people that have to live there for whatever reason that, they may not have any affordability there now.
Yeah. No, agreed. That's
It's tough. It's tough to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
think it's pushing them even more rural, and luckily we're in a time that, I mean, work at homes are way more common now than what they were, even in
and our internet access is very good here.
Oklahoma's done a lot to really boost that and invest in their infrastructure on that regard. But
thank goodness, because it was very bad for a long time.
It was so bad. I mean, you're still going to get areas of Oklahoma though where you're like, you're on your cell phone and just be like, hang on, I'm going into a dip. I'll tell you when I'm out. Mm-hmm. Can you hear me? There you are. Okay. Very much a thing still, but yes.
Very much so. Yes. Well, one of the things that came to mind for me is that I've seen this with so many clients is like, they're like, once they move here, either to Oklahoma City, maybe to Choctaw, wherever, they're like, people move super slowly. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They are very slow humans.
Yeah. If anybody's ever been to the Caribbean, there's island time, and now I understand there is Okie time.
Yes.
And you really need to clarify if somebody says that they're going to be there in a bit, do you mean in an hour? Do you mean later today? Or do you actually mean next week? Because it could all be valid. It could all be valid. But personally, this is something I've enjoyed about Oklahoma. I mean, I feel like that's one of the big advantages to being an Oklahoman is just, it is a slower pace. It's a slower lifestyle, and it helps you just be present and be, I like it. I do too. I don't miss the hubbub. I don't know. It's just being slow. I talk really fast, and it's just a throwback to when I came from.
I have to slow myself down sometimes as well.
Yeah. And that's a good thing. I feel like that's really a life lesson is, don't go too fast. You're going to miss things. So
yeah, you're going to miss things. One of the more hysterical ones that my clients have mentioned a lot to me. And I'm thinking back to like when I've driven in other states, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. We have a lot of left exits.
I mean, I think too. There's shields and flood in Oklahoma City. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Left exits off the interstate. They always think that's weird, or like, I guess just the way that they're like named the exits sometimes.
Oh, Jesus. No, Oklahomans do not understand fucking merge. Okay, I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry I dropped the F-bomb, but you all do not understand
because
merge for nothing.
Whenever my mom taught me to drive, she told me that merge meant stop.
No! Merge means merge.
I know.
Merge.
Yeah.
But in your defense, however, you will be on an off-ramp here in this state, and it is a 50-50 chance if you are going to get a merge sign or a yield. Yield. Do y'all even know what yield even means? Yield means like it's either go or you need to look and stop or look and go. It's one or the other. But what is that sign even doing on an off-ramp? You should never stop on an on or not an off-ramp, on an on-ramp. You don't stop on an on-ramp. You're getting
a good way to get rear-ended. Yeah.
Traffic. It's oh my God.
Yes, there are many days that I'm honking at people for stopping in those situations when they have their own lane.
Yeah.
To drive it.
Yes. Yeah. So just be prepared for this. So Oklahoma, I would say their driving probably ranks in the lower 40 as well.
I've read the statistics. It does.
Oh, is it there? Is it there? But the drivers are super polite, though. Super polite. I mean, you could totally screw up and be like,
not where I live. It's not, there's nothing polite about it.
What? Really? Well, you haven't, however, you have not experienced Alaskan drivers. Am I correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Oklahomans are the most polite drivers I have ever encountered in my life. So yeah, you can totally do something way, way wrong. And if you wave and smile and just be like, I'm sorry, they're just like, oh, okay, it's okay. You have a good day. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're not gonna, people are
in
not
Alaska, you're totally getting the middle finger. And those people, they're going to be tailgating you and probably brake checking you at some point. I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible. Here, though, they're just like, I'm really sorry. And I love it. It's part of it.
Yeah, people are like that. They really are. That's so funny. Didn't think about that. Yeah. Well, good. Anything else that is unexpected for people?
I don't know. I mean, I could go on and on about driving here.
I think that
unique experience in itself.
I think the tornado warnings really do it's so many of my clients who move here, there'll be a tornado warning and like I'm at home, hanging out, and they send me a screenshot of themselves in their tornado shelter. And I'm like, what are you doing?
I was just saying that. You know when you're finally in Okie, when you are finally that individual and the tornado sirens are out and you're on the front porch just going,
I don't see
anything yet. Where is it?
Yeah, it's usually very far away, so I'm not.
Really there's like torrential rain happening though, winds hitting 70 miles an hour, but you're still out on the porch going, man, do you see anything? I don't see anything.
Yeah, no, there's
that's your Okie card right there.
Yeah, so it always cracks me up because they spend so much time. And it's amazing. I'm really glad that they have the space where they feel safe.
Yes,
they spend so much time in there, and I'm like, you don't have to, but it's fine. You'll figure it out.
My mom's finally hardcore Okie at this point, and she's just like, I don't know. If those sirens go off and it's the middle of the night, I'm just whatever.
Yeah, they went off the other like 2 weeks ago at 4 a.m. Yeah, and I was like, what is this? And I went back to sleep.
Like, no. Yep. Yeah.
This is silly.
It depends. There's still some stuff that weirds me out. I don't know why, but I've still had some encounters with weather that I'm like,
oh yeah,
this is making me feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah, but there are some of those. Definitely.
Yeah. But anyway,
one thing that happens a lot here in the metro that it's hard to explain to people sometimes. I don't know if you've seen this, Stacey, but so people will be like, oh, I'm going to be working in Norman, but I'll live in Edmond or Norman. What? I'm like, no, what you're
No.
working in Norman, you're living in Norman
Yeah.
or more.
Or
Like,
well, or south. I mean, just get,
south.
Washington,
would you-
Blanchard, one of those, man.
Yeah. And so then I asked them, like, what makes you think you'd want to live in Edmond if you were working in Norman? And they're like, well, because it's not that bad of a drive.
Bullshit. Terrible.
I'm like, it's bad. Like,
how do you plan to drive there? Are you flying?
yeah. Because what gets me is like, yes, I get what they're saying. A lot of times if they're coming from LA or the Bay Area, it's like, oh yeah, you like it makes sense you'd be driving an hour and a half to work or something like that. But the houses are the same price here, no matter where it is.
There's no advantage.
No
advantage. Why, baby?
There is no advantage
Come here.
to
Get your head out.
driving that far. It's craziness. So that's another thing that makes me laugh. That's
Yes.
our new puppy.
Yes, this is Dasher.
Yes. So it always cracks me up, but I'm just like, no, you're not doing that. Because they think like, oh, I'm used to driving. I'm like, you're used to sitting in traffic. This is
why. Well, there's, like you said, there's no advantage. What is conceptually, what is their advantage that they think that there would be? Because it's the same living in one place or the other.
right. It's the same. Yeah. I don't know. But here we're driving 75 miles an hour on the interstate. We don't call it the freeway. Call it the interstate. I don't call it the freeway. No one here does.
It's the interstate.
It's the interstate.
I don't know. It's I-35 or I-40. I don't even call it the interstate.
Yeah, you're driving fast. It's not like, so it's a different headspace than sitting in traffic. Totally different.
Yeah. I mean, here a commute is like, I sat through 2 light changes.
Yeah, people complain about that all the time. Like, I had to sit there through 2 cycles. It's like, okay, well,
that's commuting traffic for my area.
classic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
People complain about that in Norman a lot.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and then they're actually putting in another underpass, so that's kind of nice.
Oh, that would be good.
We only have one in Norman, but it was just causing a lot of backups, I think, and more. Like I would be 15-20 minutes late going somewhere because I didn't realize there was a train.
That's what I was just gonna say. It's the train. Yeah, because you're right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. That's a problem where I'm at too. So trains, there's BNSF has a lot of tracks here.
BNSF has a lot of tracks.
Mm-hmm. So you do need to be more aware of the rail system here. But,
yes, and the freight can go anywhere, but Amtrak
and those
goes.
I'm not gonna swear. At least where I'm at, I don't know about where you're at, but where I'm at, they will park that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Right. It's hard. I swear anyways. They will park there for an hour blocking the road.
Yeah.
And they don't care. They do not. I mean, it's the train anyways, but it's just, I don't know. That was weird to me. And then like in Ardmore, there's only a couple of overpasses to get over the tracks. So, which you can easily drive to. It's a small town, but I mean, it's super weird that they will literally just park the train in the middle of town and don't even think twice about it. So, and I know it goes right through Norman as well.
Yeah, they park at night. So it's really, really frustrating.
You guys at least have a no horn thing.
Yes, we don't have train horns in Norman.
Yeah. Which is
super
could be dangerous, but really nice. I don't know. But
they blow them if they see something wrong. So you'll hear it. Because someone did commit suicide Ew.
What a terrible way to go.
And a bunch of people saw it too. So
oh my God, that's awful.
Yeah, it was awful.
Oh, Marcy.
But like that's a suicide, like the guy was trying,
Yeah.
It wasn't like, but if the engineer sees someone on the tracks, they blow their horns.
Yeah.
That's a safety thing. But I was just looking up. So I'm from Claremore, right? In Claremore, and they're very famous for this. 40 trains a day. Yeah. So it affects the housing market. Like your house, your house on one side will cost different than the house on the other side. Really common.
It's literally the other side of the tracks in Ardmore.
Yes.
I didn't know that was actually, I mean, there is meat to that saying.
There is definitely.
Don't want to be on the wrong side of the tracks. So
Yep.
it's I don't know. It's
Yep.
weird.
Yep.
Educational to me as well. But it's the difference, in my opinion, because on one side of the tracks, it's the city. It's meaning it's office space or, just some kind of downtown area. Whereas on the other side of the tracks, there's houses that butt right up to it. So obviously, if your house butts up to the railroad tracks, your value of your home, if you have to listen to those friggin' horns go off, is going to be less.
Yeah. I mean,
and we'll be listening to the horns because the trains are very active here. So
yeah. In Claremore, it's typically because the drive time changes so much.
Okay.
Because of the 40 trains. It's just a lot. So,
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot. But
interesting.
Yeah. I think that's kind of mine.
Marcy's got her contact information.
I have my contact information here. A lot of times people will email me after a show like this because they do have some more questions. And so I welcome that. Of course, you can also call me. People text me. Just be nice to me. Good.
That'd be nice. Good Lord.
Be nice.
There's enough bad people in the world. Shall I read the comment that I got today? It was
read it.
Okay, hang on. No, don't do that.
I get so many bad comments. It's terrible.
This one really made me laugh, though. It's so funny. So mine was about moving to Ardmore, Oklahoma. Here are 10 reasons I think you'll love it. Well, this person says to me, oh, geez, I opened up the whole thing. Sorry. I opened up the whole entire string here. Good Lord.
Oh,
Okay, here we go. You're only saying those nice things about Ardmore because you're a realtor and you need to sell houses. Hello. They didn't exactly say that. I might be
embellishing just a little bit.
But I don't know. It says, however, though, in my opinion, it's a garbage city to live in. And I was supposed to leave my parents' house after I graduated high school. I'm very glad to be out of that town. But I don't know. My advice, honestly, is always just visit it, check it out, see what you think. My background is from a very large metropolitan area that had extremely high violent crime rates and also homelessness. It was rampant where I was. And Ardmore is like a dream town to me. But obviously to others, it's going to be some shithole. I don't know.
Everyone has their perspective. And I just have to remind people of that sometimes in those comments. Which welcome all comments because they sometimes make us laugh.
I want your comments, even if they're crappy comments. I want to know.
So funny.
They're fun. The crappy comments are almost way more fun than some great comments. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, good stuff. Okay, Stacey, I think that we are done.
Yay! This is great. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
I love it. All right. Well, I will talk with you later, and the rest of you people join us next month.
Yay!
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.